Oh, aloha everyone, and happy 4th of July. Going to make this a quick video for everyone. Just want to let you know the stock market is healthy. We've been on the right side since January, whenever we had an amazing bread thrust, a Marty Zweig bread thrust. It was stunning, the start, but I didn't fight it. Started to join the trend since most extended stocks were working. And as you can see, following Wednesday session, all is well. SPY hitting new all-time highs. DIA, new all-time highs. QQQ, new all-time highs, in the IWM, nice session on Friday. Better yet, it's not the same kind of indicator, but if you go look on stockcharts.com, you will see that the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line also hit new all-time highs, and whatever this advanced decline line is on Telechart, it's also hitting new all-time highs. And if you go look at stockcharts.com and look at the NY 2104, sorry. And if you go look at the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline volume line, which I posted on StockTwits and Twitter for you guys to look, you will also notice it's hitting a new all-time high. And this is a cumulative volume index, so I assume that it's all of the advanced decline volume. You can see that it's basically, minus that skew there, at nearing new all-time highs. Kind of has the look of the IWM, but you can see the Russell 2000 is well off its highs, while the T2104 is near its all-time highs. Guys, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line, New York Stock Exchange advanced decline volume line, it has a history of whenever it hits new highs, the indices, if they're not at new highs, follow. That's what happened this time around. It has a history of showing lower highs and lower lows before a market sells off. So it's not, this one didn't quite work here, but if you look at the New York Stock Exchange line, advanced decline line, whenever the S&P 500 was hitting new highs here, the New York Stock Exchange advanced decline line was moving this way. And if you go look at the major tops in 2000, the major tops in 2007, same thing. So always pay attention to that line. It's very important. Okay, so now I want to go over the stocks that filled on Wednesday. SGH, which was a new long position, it filled. So SGH, following that session, I still, because of the low volume and it's working, just have one stop here. And my final stop is right here as it's splitting hairs. But one here, did not add to the low of yesterday's session due to low volume. And then sadly, after that one filled, about 5 minutes later, the new long signal in MLHR was right on the cusp of triggering at 44.73. Got 1% raised and was pretty sure I was going to get it. And then all of a sudden, BCOV triggered. And it was an add signal on this session at 10:39. So it triggered ahead of MLHR. And sadly, I was never able to get MLHR throughout the rest of the session. That was the main priority. But with the BCOV add signal, obviously there's a stop here. So a stop here, stop here, stop here, stop here, stop here, and stop here for BCOV for me. And then an MDCO add signal filled about 45 minutes after that. The add signal that filled on this one, I do believe, was from this one right here, 37.50 on this date, 6/7. So that add signal filled. So MDCO, I got to stop here, 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 here. Final. No, I don't. I got more stops actually. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have 6, 7 on MDCO. And then one more stop or order filled, and that was at 11:38 Eastern Time, and it was the last one, PRSP. PRSP add signal from 628, gapped up, came down, finally came back up and through that level. So now I've added to the position in PRSP. I have a stop here, a stop here. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on PRSP. So that then, those were the ones that executed and filled. Kala also was a new long position speculative from the day before. It gapped up, pulled back, and then went back up through it. Didn't have the funds available. So that order, while it technically did trigger on the upside and probably would have filled me if I had the funds, didn't have the funds, so no fill on Kala either as a speculative long position. Sell signals, 100% following Wednesday's session, none. But there were 4 50%ers. ARCE closing below the 20-day moving average on heavier above average volume and also below the recent lows here. That's a 50% sell signal. 50% of my stops are here. I have one here and the final one right there on ARCE on an end-of-day basis. That's for a 5% gain. Koru, never got a chance to get long. This was the long signal here. Gapped up and through it here. Gapped up and through it once it pulled back here to try to get long again. Gapped up again and ran. So gap up, no fill, gap up, no fill. So I don't have a position. But let's say somehow you got a position. It's closing below the 20-day moving average on heavier volume. That's a 50% sell signal for a 5% gain. If I had a position in this name, you now got to have 50% of your stops here. Then a stop here, 1, 2, and the final one right there on Koru. And then ACA. ACA was an add signal, but it never triggered. 38.11 was the stop and limit. Never got there on Wednesday, but immediately sold off and ran a stop that I had here and ran a stop that I had right below the 627 low a day. That being said, volume is lower. It still has max green bop, so I still have that order live and out there. If ACA reverses and goes up and through 38.11 and I have the 1% available, I'll be long or add to my position in ACA. But following Wednesday session, it is closing below the 20-day moving average. So with such negative price velocity, that is a 50% sell signal. So you want to have half here. And then for me, since I'm still giving it lots of room to work, which I would not do this. If you're a new trader, you want to have 50% here and your final stop then right here. But for me, I've opened it up, 50% here. Then I got to stop here. I got to stop here. I got to stop here. And I got to stop here on ACA. And then the final 50% sell signal, big winner, SWAV, original signal here, 78% gain on an end-of-day basis. But I got tight with my stops. And let me go back here. And following this session, maybe it was or was not a good idea. We'll find out. I put my final stop 1 cent below this low a day at 52.99. It ran it, and I'm now all out of SWAV following Wednesday's session. But with the close below the 50-day moving average, that is the first close below the 50-day moving average. The session before, it closed 54.21. 50-day moving average 54.20. So it closed above it ever so slightly. But that's a 50% sell signal. If you still have any SWAV, 1 cent below today's low day, 50%. And then I got to be honest, I'm not quite sure what I would do if let me move it up here. So this is what I would probably do with SWAV. 50% there if I was still long, and then a stop here, stop here, stop here, and a final stop right there, maybe even one right there. Like I said, 1% of my account capital in these names is $5,000, $5,000. Each trade at Interactive Brokers cost me $1. So it's no skin off my side. But if commissions are an issue for you, I would just go ahead and have the final one right here, and I would expect SWAV to move higher immediately or just get out. It's gone sideways for way too long. There's too many stocks moving to be stuck in something that's just been moving sideways after such a big, huge gain that we got, which is why I'm always moving stops up, because as long as we have new winners, as soon as an uptrend line is broken, there's really almost no point in staying in some of these if you have large size. Partial size makes sense. Large size does not make any sense to me whenever there's so many runners. So going into Friday session, there is only one new long signal of quality, CLCT. This is CanSlim quality. It is also top perfect speculator scan quality. CanSlim quality wise, CLCT, this thing sports, where is it written down on my end? Man. Okay, now I got to go off memory. I believe it's something like, I don't know, high 90s composite rating, something like an 86 EPS rating, something like, damn, where did I write this down? So much for those notes. You can go check it out on the new positions page. I tell you exactly what the earnings per share and sales growth is for the most recent quarter. I also list what all of the IBD ratings are. very high quality Cancelim stock. Also in my top perfect speculator scan. So this is kind of a cheater signal with it being extended from the 10 and 20-day moving average. But I want to position here because this day interested me. I knew I was already familiar with CLCT because I already tried to go long somewhere around here and got completely knocked out of it here. So when it did this day here, piqued my interest. And then here really piqued my interest. Here, still interested. Finally had a down day. Well, on Wednesday, we have a bullish hammer candle off recent strong price support, close higher than the open, above average volume, and max green bop for the last 4 days, which means if it has a max green bop on Friday, it'll enter my max green bop for the past 5 days scan. So CLCT, good to go with me on multiple levels. The game plan here with CLCT, stop and limit order is 22.20, 1 cent above the high of the day. First stop loss level that I'm working with, it says here 21.64, which must be the session before's low a day. But to be honest with you, that's pretty close. I'm just keeping tight stops. Then 21.09 and then 20.33. It turns out if I get filled, I might just use 21.09 and then 20.33. All right, everyone, going to wrap the video up here. I'll see you in the chat room if you're around on Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your 4th of July, everyone. Aloha.